war is launched.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us today in our first edition of AF24NEWS Talks for the year. We're excited to bring you a lot of exciting updates and analysis this year. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Olabisi today, a director here at AF24NEWS. And in our first edition for the year, we want to talk about the rampant kidnappings that have been happening in Nigeria over the past 2-3 weeks since the year began actually. So just for a little bit of background, in the first week of January alone, about 23 people were kidnapped in the Abuja Nasarawa area of the country. And in that time, like a week later, we had about 40 gunmen also storm another community in Abuja on January 11 to kidnap another 23 people. We had the kidnapping of a family of a father and 6 girls on January 9th, 2024. And following that report, about 3 to 4 days later, it was also reported that one of the girls had died in captivity, and the ransom that they were demanding had increased. So I just want to talk to get Dr. Mitchell's thoughts, first of all, on everything that we have said in the background of this.
Well, thanks for having me again this year, and Happy New Year to all our followers out there. This is very sad, and I would say starting the new year on a sad note with all these barrage of kidnappings and the rest. As a matter of fact, I just even read now that about 45 passengers were also reportedly kidnapped along the Benue State axis. And according to one of the people that the driver that escaped, he was saying that the kidnappers were demanding for 3 million from each of the passengers. The relatives of these passengers were the ones relating this information. But they are even now in distress because according to them, they can't even hear from the kidnappers again. So they don't know the condition of their relatives and loved ones. I mean, this is getting too much out of hand. Unfortunately, this didn't start just this year. I remember that I had discussed this issue as a guest on TVC more than 1 year ago. Even in Abuja, where they were going into houses to kidnap people. And at that time, we were wondering what were the security people doing. Unfortunately, these kidnappers, they still get their ransom. They contact the people with relatives with registered mobile lines. And you just wonder, what is all this noise about NIN registration and SIM card registration, all of those things, all of those development, technological development that were brought into play where Nigerians were subjected into a lot of hardship in the process of trying to ensure that their mobile lines are connected to their NIN. So these kidnappers, how come that they are able to get in touch with relatives with mobile telephone lines that are registered and connected to NIN or whatever, and nobody can apprehend them? Nobody is apprehending them. What is happening to us? Now, we learned that 2 people have been killed in the last 1 week out of the 2 families where entire families were, kidnapped. Yesterday, a teenager, a girl said to be in secondary school, is already dead. Her sisters are still in the kidnappers' den. The other family of 6 with their father, they are still there. They killed one of them and also increased the ransom that they wanted to collect. As a matter of fact, for the second family, they are now asking for, is it 70 million or 60 million naira, and they are increasing it. They even increased it by 10 million, raising that to 70 million. I mean, that's very unfortunate, to say the least. That's just unfortunate, to say the least, and we can't continue like this.
I think you even touched on a very key point there when you talk about how astronomical those ransom demands are. For instance, we're talking about 3 million per passenger after kidnapping, over a dozen people.
Yeah.
Then we're talking about, I think in the first week of January, around January 7, 10 people were kidnapped in like to say area of Abuja, and 100 million ransom was demanded. And now 3 out of those 10 people were killed, and they are asking for the ransom to be up to 700 million naira. So we have these people making rash demands on astronomical figures of money that the average Nigerian does not have access to, according to the statistics of what we learn about how Nigerians earn money. So I just want to ask, like, where do you think that brazen disposition comes from on the kidnappers' part?
Well, it comes from the irresponsibility they've noticed on the part of our security architecture and the security people that are supposed to protect Nigerians. And also, don't forget that these kidnappers are also among us in this country. They live among us. They know what we do. They are also aware now that interested, concerned Nigerians have gone to the extent of doing GoFundMe to rescue kidnapped victims. So in their mind, they probably think that, well, the money will be raised anyhow. Remember that they used to go and kidnap many secondary school pupils where the government was paying them money. All of that has reduced now. So going to individuals, knowing that, well, people will go to any extent to just have their loved ones around them. And with the fact that they are doing GoFundMe to rescue kidnappers, they just feel that, well, they will get this money. But the question is, what do you want to use this money for? But the answer is also very simple. You use the money to buy arms. You use the money to do things that will give you the power to keep terrorizing. But people have also raised an important issue. The kidnappers that are always arrested, they don't look rich. They look very haggard, which goes to suggest that these are probably agents. A lot of people are saying that the real powers behind the kidnappers are big people in our society, that these kidnappers actually report to them. We cannot doubt that. Unfortunately, our security outfits have not been able to do proper jobs of tracing or connecting the real people that are involved in this kidnapping business, because I want to believe that it's a major thriving business that have the backings of probably very powerful people in the society behind them. Because you still wonder, why is the situation so like this, as if the whole country has given up and surrendered to a few criminals? Let me give you this example. the former minister of communications, Isa Pantami, who incidentally said that his friend had agreed to pay the 50 million ransom because he himself does not believe in paying ransom to kidnappers because it will embolden them and will keep them operating. But they cannot sit down and allow 5 beautiful children to die. What? Because these kidnappers had already killed one to show them that they meant business. Now the question is, Pantami himself was the one that spearheaded the linking of our NIN with our mobile phones. And people are now asking him that you spearheaded these things. Why is it that these people still make calls with the same telephone that is supposed to be linked for you? And one of the reasons why this was done was because we felt that it was going to curb insecurity. And his answer was so pathetic. He said the security people have refused to use that technology, that it is in place, but he doesn't know why security people are not using it, why our security outfits are not using it. He said that when he was a minister, that he could recall at least 3 occasions where this technology was put in use and they were able to arrest the criminals. So the question is, why are the policemen not using this technology that is available now? Why should a kidnapper use a telephone line to call and that same line cannot be tracked?
Even without NIN,
Even without NIN, telecommunication operations, and MTN has all the details of all the calls we make. They all have the details. You call it geolocated data, right? So why is our case like this?
to be honest, I don't understand as well.
Oh,
And we're still watching the situation unfold. We recently heard from the Nigerian police force that they are creating tactical units to storm these forest areas and try to look for the girls. The FCT command as well also came out a few days ago saying that their units were combing the forest in the areas where those attacks were perpetrated, those kidnapping attacks were.
okay, so the kidnappers in the mind of the police will stay in the location where the attacks were perpetrated. Meanwhile, the calls, you can actually monitor the location where calls are coming from. If you track calls, can't you monitor locations?
So what? A few days ago, it was actually somebody was giving an anecdotal account of of somebody they knew who was kidnapped, and they said that they move the kidnappers move locations and only communicate in 48-hour intervals, something like that. So by the time they communicate,
They will have left where they were before.
another location and where they are communicating from in that situation. So if there was some data on maybe footpaths, if those areas are well mapped, or what is the like if from a heuristic perspective, they say what's the likelihood of these people traveling in this direction than this direction? There's a stream here.
Okay.
This here. How do we calculate? But I don't know if that's happening because then you'll be able to narrow down where
We have to go. Then
be.
what will even be the job of maybe aircraft using such to drones and all of that to yes.
I agree, to be honest.
Because these are the things that we should be talking about. And we need technology. Until we begin to fight insecurity with technology, we won't go far. And it's not as if this thing is rocket science. The way our own security people are making it look like. It's not as if it is rocket science. We are not reinventing any wheel here. The technology to be used is already available. I think it is just that commitment to doing what is right. And you now ask yourself, could it be that everybody is just frustrated in this country? That
From the security apparatus.
yes, because like you don't just want, you are just tired, you don't want to do anything, or because this thing is actually getting out of hand.
It is usually when it touches them.
That it matters to
It
them.
matters to them.
I mean, in Abuja is the federal capital
Territory.
and this is happening.
This is more than 50 persons now that we have on record that have been kidnapped from Abuja since
In 1 month, in less than a month,
this is mid-January.
in less than a month. And these guys, some of them were kidnapped right from their houses. Wow. I mean, we cannot continue like this. We cannot continue like this. And I think the Nigerian police should just not think that this is an easy thing for them to just lie low on. Unfortunately, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, who should be very much concerned about what is going on right now, is unfortunately more concerned about political activities that is not adding any value to the life of any average Nigerian. Should we just do a shout out to Uyemson Wike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, that as brave as he is, as bold as he is, as tough as he is, and with all of his declarations about being somebody that is going to deliver, that he should deliver the people of Abuja by engaging the appropriate security operatives to do this job, because he cannot be talking about building a federal capital territory in terms of structures. It's just like the governor. His position is so powerful. The Minister of the Federal Capital is like a governor of a state, and he should at least view with greater sense of urgency and importance the safety of the people, the residents of the Federal Capital Territory. I believe that he has enough courage to actually work with the security operatives and talk to them if he really wants to do this thing. And I think we should just tell him and let him know that this is a thing that should be done. And I also believe that he has the ears of the president, that he could also bring this to the attention of the president. It's not as if the president is not aware of it, but talking about the lives of the people, I think this is very important. We cannot be sitting down as a country and allow children, girls, men, adults, in fact, whoever they are, to be kidnapped right from their houses. I mean, that is not a thing that we should be proud of. And it's not a thing that we should allow to continue.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Dr. Olabisi. Thank you for your insights. And thank you to every one of our viewers for joining us in this episode of AF24 News Talks. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about what is going on so far? About the response of the government, the sort of handicap response that we also get from our security apparatus? Like, what do you think technologically we could be doing that we are not doing, or what other ways do you think that this problem could be addressed? And just let us know any other thing that you would like us to discuss about this coming next week. And once again, thank you for joining us. We remain your host here at AF24 News Talks. Have a wonderful week.